I've said this in my Xenoblade Chronicles 2 video, I've said this in my last fan service video. We have moral guardians on the left complaining about the female objectification in pop culture. But ironically, these are the same sorts of people that would objectify the living hell out of every woman they see, to the point where they slut shame them, even though they also at the same time say we shouldn't shame women for the way they dress. These people have absolutely zero principles. The minds of a totalitarian is absolutely blank. They're gonna say anything, do anything, and be anything just so that they're the ones on the winning side. They will even cheat through the system so that it benefits them. You will never win with these people. So I'm still baffled in why there are still people letting these guys to control you. Today I want to tell you guys about probably one of the pettiest controversies of the year. 2017 has been quite an insane year for controversies that might as well be called non-troversies, but there's no controversy pettier this year than PUBG cameltoe. That's right, PUBG cameltoe. Congratulations, you have won. You have won the pettiest non-troversy of 2017 alongside another petty controversy that we're going to talk about today. The Kickstarter for this controversy is a woman by the name of Liz Edwards, who did a Darth Vader impression once she saw a cameltoe in PUBG. That's it. It's just a freaking cameltoe, and for some reason, you're being completely up in arms about it. You know, I wonder what the reactions would be if they see men's bulges. Yeah, you tell them, Cosmopolitan. Objectification of women is wrong, but goddamn, those bulges, man. Those damn sexy bulges absolutely deserve gold. It's perfectly okay for us to objectify men though. Let's pull hot men's towels out and let us see their marvelous dicks. These Khal Drogo panties of Game of Thrones and this Poe Dameron body pillow, oh god, they're so sexy and hot. And while we're at it, let's stalk and investigate the pictures of some random celebrities' freaking dicks. Excellent idea, Vice. Make sure you got a good lawyer for this. Look, ladies, I'm not saying that it's wrong to objectify men. I'm saying you can't objectify men, then tell people that objectifying women is wrong. If your way of pissing off the trolls is to objectify men, then do not cry when people are objectifying women. More and more. You brought this upon yourselves, Tumblr writes. Anyway, her post gained quite a lot of traction with thousands of likes and hundreds of retweets. She then directly asked PlayerUnknown to not do this. Oh, by the way, I also love the number of replies on the original tweet. If you get like hundreds of replies, that's usually a good sign that people are criticizing you. Some of the people who noticed the cameltoe began to get as equally as Outrage. Oh, come on, for fuck's sake. Oh, come on, PlayerUnknown, for accurately depicting a woman's vagina in her underwear. Sure, your game is broken, you only have 2 maps, but goddamn, that cameltoe should be removed. Absolutely disgusting. An interesting reply to the original tweet is someone saying the game is made in Japan, therefore that's the reason why the game is sexualized. That is horrendously stereotypical of you to assume that only Japanese men like cameltoes, and that is assuming that PUBG is made in Japan, which it wasn't. I think you're watching way too many Kizuna AI. This isn't a case of Japanese people are creepy thing, this is a case of gross dudes think it looks rad. Well, I don't know about you, but if I'm playing PUBG, the lady's freaking cameltoe would be my last concern. And I play as a female. One of the Twitter user pointed out Fortnite as an example, which is definitely a much better game on the virtue that it actually looks like a finished product. But one user said that all the female characters that this user played have ridiculous wide hips and tight pants that the male characters don't have at all. Of course not. They are male characters. Both genders have different physiques and different physical traits that accentuate their attractiveness. The women have boobs and asses. The men? Well, I'm going to let Kizuna AI illustrate this for you.
早速なんですけど、素敵な筋肉ですね。ちょっと触ってもいいですか？はあ、素敵な筋肉ですね。締まってますね。切れてますね。
Actually, let's not, AI-chan, you freaking pervert. What the? Any dude that's cool with this has A, never had a girlfriend in his life or possibly ever met a woman, and B, needs to work out a little thing called empathy. Well done for pointing this out, Liz. It's just ridiculous. Well, you are half right in point A. I never had a girlfriend. But then again, one of my favorite principles to hold in life is 3D women are not important. This doesn't really counter the argument that she's being obsessive and petty. This only shifts the loser title into me, Which in that case, I would like to ask you if you've seen a real women before, because I can cite every porn video under the camel toe category to show you that this indeed does exist in real life from real women. But in the case in which you have seen a real woman before, is this list individual the person that you're looking for? The chance of you getting into her bottoms is exactly the same chance of me getting into Astolfo's bottoms. 0 and very gay. I also apparently need to work on my empathy. Empathy to what exactly? Empathy to some random woman on the internet who got so obsessed by a 3D model from a video game? Yeah, I'm not a very empathetic person, so you might as well tell me to go suck my own dick. Or Astolfo's dick, I'd like that.
This is why we need more women in tech. Jesus Christ.
So we need more women in tech because boys are making camel toes in video games? Yeah, next time I'm going to jump into the supernatural fandom, point out into one of the Wincest fan arts, preferably coupled with Mpreg, and tell people, this is why we need more men in supernatural fandom. We can't let young women to jerk off to these things. Why, oh why are these women having fun? Why can't they be just as miserable and depressing as I am?
There are a lot of good character artists looking for work. Studios, you don't need to keep people who make stuff like this on board.
That's actually quite ironic because most of these good character artists that are looking for work, well, 90% of them draw porn. In fact, a lot of artists start off drawing porn because it's profitable and incredibly titillating. If anything, I want you to find me an artist that doesn't draw porn. So be careful what you wish for. You just might get it.
Yeah, it's a bummer. I brought it up on Reddit knowing it'll just get downvoted, but you gotta say something.
That's like saying, yes, I know that bursting into a Street Fighter tournament and talk about Chun-Li's problematic tits and thighs would get me scorned and probably kicked out, but someone has to point it out. Liz then continues her pettiness by paying attention into the deep crack. The undies go right up there, huh? Now, I'm very well known in the community as a very perverted individual, but time and time again, I'm starting to question that. I am not saying that I'm not a pervert, I most certainly am, but every time, someone else always outclassed my level of perversion, and Liz here outclassed me by taking a deep look at cracks of camel toes in PUBG. Who is the degenerate pervert here again? Someone decided to post their own screenshots and found out that, well, the camel toe doesn't exist. In order to prove that the camel toe exists and she's not telling people BS, she ripped the game's mesh and textures, scanned it in Blender, and looked at the freaking camel toe. Oh god. Thank God I binged Kizuna AI's earliest episodes. Otherwise, I wouldn't encounter this gem, which is very appropriate for you.
元気ですね。私のパンツを見ようと頑張ってくれたんですか？ありがとうございます。5時間もね。わー、すごいね。56歳になってパンツ一生懸命見ようってしてくれたんだよね。恥ずかしさを捨てて。素晴らしい。
So congratulations, Liz. You are now at the same level as a 56-year-old man who downloaded Kizuna AI's 3D model to look at her panties, and you did all of this with no sense of irony and absolutely zero shame. AI-chan, please give her the appropriate sentence.
有罪です。
However, the story of the Camel Toe Ripper Camel Toe Ripper The story of the Camel Toe Ripper has to end in a sad note because the developers of PUBG, PlayerUnknown, responded to the criticism by removing said camel toes. Oh great! More and more reasons to hate PUBG. Absolutely spineless developers.
After looking into this, it appears it came as part of the character model we received from an outsourcer when we first started the project. The file itself has not been changed in 2 years. It will be updated shortly with changes. Sorry for any offense caused.
Huh. Does this prove that PUBG used models from 3D hentais? Look, if you're going to remove these models because they look stupid, that's fine. If you're going to remove these models because they're not used anymore, that's fine. But removing them to not cause offense? PlayerUnknown, I want you to be aware. I want you to be 100% aware that the person who started this controversy ripped the models from your game and looked at their panties to see whether or not there are camel toes in there. This person needs help, and you're not helping them by caving into their demands. You only strengthen them. Strengthen, make them more powerful. Anyway, let's move on to the next non-Troversy. Terraria has this update notes in the game which says, all female NPCs, excluding Party Girl, become irritable during a blood moon, snapping at the player when being talked to. This is obviously a period joke, and this person over here got so mad that she asked the developers to not put shit like this in their game. One angry gamer compiled a couple of tweets that they have, and honestly, none of these tweets convince me. It's damaging for so many reasons. Yeah, try naming one for a start.
It's a pretty tasteless joke, demeaning to women, nothing to do with being indie.
Okay, ladies, if you're on the blood moon, will you snap towards anyone and get unreasonably angry? If the answer is yes, then this person is basically saying reality is demeaning to women. I'm not surprised since in their minds women are perfect angels that can do no wrong, but reality is too harsh for these people, so they deny it and continuously say that women can do no wrong.
Our culture that devalues women often by passing comments off as jokes or flirting or compliments, they deal with this every day. Why make games that perpetuate this?
Okay, so jokes are demeaning to women, flirting is demeaning to women, compliments are demeaning to women, which brings me to the logical conclusion that we're living in a mirror universe where calling women sluts, whores, bitches, and fots are respectful and completely appropriate ways of interacting with them. And since we're living in a mirror universe, I cannot agree more with that sentiment. I would also add cameltoe ripper into the mix.
I don't think this conversation is going anywhere. Please listen to women and other marginalized groups when they critique games, unless you're somehow happy with current game bro culture.
Well, I'm a person of color on the internet who is a Hindu living in a Muslim majority city in a Muslim majority country, interacting with people on the internet who speaks English and therefore primarily coming from the West, Europe, or Australia, regions that contain white people. My audiences are mostly white coming from the US. I'm interacting with my audiences that are mostly white, being supported by audiences who are mostly white, being insulted by audiences who are mostly white. I'm still 19, my 5th semester in college, and just recently finished my finals, and also a small YouTuber on the internet. And I tell you to stop telling people what to do and stop speaking over me, you racists. And here's the best part. Here's the best part out of all of this. This is an update from 6 years ago. That's right. The outrage is coming from an update that was from 6 years ago. Wow. I hope next year will be a lot crazier than this.